Okay, we are on to step number 15. And in this time, our question for now is what was the maximum, what was the longest trip duration, and what was the shortest trip duration? So, what was the shortest trip that a person took, and what was the longest trip that a person took? Let's start with longest. So, again, we're going to go over here, and now in column B, we're going to write longest trip, and we're going to use a formula called max. It calculates the maximum value in a piece. So I'm pressing equals max. I click on it, it opens up my parentheses. And now I go back to my data and I go to my trip duration. Again, I click on column A and I close it. And again, you always have to wait a second. Wow, that's a very long trip, 14,240 seconds of a trip. We can change that into minutes in just a minute. And then let's just do shortest trip. And for this, we're going to use the opposite, which is min equals min. And again, go back here. Okay. And we're going to press enter. Okay. So I have trips that equal 1 second and I have trips that equal 14,240 seconds. So let's just actually really quickly figure out how many minutes this is. So we're going to take this trip and we're going to divide it by 60. And this is a 237-hour trip. Now, I would imagine that this is actually an error. Somebody stole a bike or something like this. So I'm actually going to go back here, go to my trip duration, and I'm going to sort it from Z to A. So I get from the highest to the lowest. There we go. And we can also see right here that this is such a much bigger number. So I'm actually just going to delete this row because it's going to ruin my data. I'm not going to be able to get a good average. Now, what's really nice is when I go back here, it should update it here. 83 minutes. That sounds like something that maybe somebody took a really long trip, an hour plus, but now this is something that's a little bit more usable and sensible. Okay, so now we looked at our longest and our shortest, and in the next one, we're going to talk about average and other things like that. But for now, we got our longest, we got our shortest, we used max and min, and we also then used some critical thinking to take away an outlying piece of data.